Okay, we're recording. Good morning, everyone. It is Friday. Thank you for joining me for the Producers Club. We have a very special guest with us today who I'm very excited for you all to get to know better. She's a powerhouse in leadership, and she's going to explain a little bit more about that here in a minute. But I want to introduce to you guys Stacie States, who is the new regional director for the LA Coastal and West LA region, correct?
Yep.
Yes, yes. So Stacie, welcome. Thanks for joining our offices. Waking up
Oh,
early.
yes. Well, I'm here in LA. So
Ooh.
thank you so much for having me on. I'm honored to speak with all of you. And just a little bit about me so that you get to know who I am and who's talking at you. Hopefully, we'll be talking together here soon. First off, I'd love to know how many people on the call are an agent? Like, is a lot of them?
Yeah, most of them.
Okay, perfect. And then a few in leadership, right?
Yes, yes.
Fantastic. So I hail from Boise, Idaho, and I got into real estate in 2005. I, previous to that, had been fighting fires for the Bureau of Land Management for 5 years. And I graduated from Boise State University with a couple degrees in business, a BA in human resource management, and a BS in general business management. And my dad had gotten into real estate in 2004. And in 2005, I was entering my sixth season fighting fires and wondering, is this my career path? Is this what I want to do? Lay on the ground all summer long and tent camp without a shower. And I thought, I don't think this is my life's trajectory. So, funny enough, I got a job with Southwest Airlines. And my best girlfriend said to me, like, I don't know, I don't think this is it for you. I love to travel, so I was thinking that would be a great benefit. And then my dad got into real estate, was having huge success after he had retired from his career. And I thought, well, you have one of those moments, if he can do it, I can do it. So got into real estate, quickly became the rookie of the year for our office, and sold real estate for 3.5 years, and then got asked to come onto the leadership team. Erica Hill, who is the regional OP for LA Coastal, is also the OP and founder of my office in Boise. And she said, have you thought about being in leadership? And I said, well, I don't even know what that means. And she said, well, you could, I see you coaching people. I see you attending classes. I see you doing all the things. All you have, like, do you want to do that on staff? So I went through the entire career visioning process. We determined that was a fit for me. And I stepped out of my sales business going into my fourth year and went full board as a productivity coach. And that grew into being an assistant team leader, recruiter. I was assistant to the team leader. I ran the education calendar. I was coaching about 120 agents and doing all of those activities. And then after 4 years in that role, I was kind of hitting my head on a ceiling of achievement. I didn't know if I wanted to continue on leadership, and I went back into production and actually partnered up with my now husband, Van. And my first year back into sales, I think I went back into sales in April. By December, I'd sold 42 homes. The next year we sold 100, and the team continues to sell about 100 homes a year, even without me in it. And then I'm my 7th year as a team leader in Boise, and just accepted the role as a regional director, which really is being a team leader for agents and team leaders. So it's right up my alley, my gift zone, and what I'm really passionate about. And in Boise, we have 760-ish agents in our office. And my job there is to coach the top 5% of the agents. So I really am focused in on a daily basis on what the top individual and team agents need. So I'm here looking to bring a fresh face to the region, insert some energy, bring a lot not only to the leadership teams, but also to the agents in the region. We already have a lot planned, so I'm excited. I'm glad you're getting a little sneak peek of what we plan to do, but we're going to be looking at doing some agent masterminds, taking the education for the agents to the next level. We're going to be starting some marketing. So if you want to go like our page, I don't know if you can find it, Hallie, but
Yeah, Many, can you help me and put it in the chat? Great,
in
thanks.
the chat, please go like the page. We're going to be highlighting you guys. If you have a success story, if something amazing happens, if you take a luxury listing that you want, like that's outstanding, like we want to be showcasing how amazing you guys are. We'll be doing probably a mega camp event. So there's just a lot in the works. I'm hoping to bring a ton of value at the agent level also. So, Hallie asked me to come on today, and I thought, well, the one thing that I would, I'm going to share a 10-point plan with you. And then I thought I would open it up to questions, both from Hallie or from you guys. I've sold a lot of real estate. I've run, obviously, a mega office. Like anything that you guys want to know from me, any insights, then we can kind of go from there. Is that okay with you, Hallie?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Stacie, thanks for opening that up. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay, perfect. So this is kind of the 10-step plan that we sang from the rooftops when COVID hit. So about a year ago, we started having this as kind of our marching orders moving forward. And I think it's still 100% applicable, and I think still valuable, and kind of a checklist that you could really go, am I doing this? Am I still doing this? Because I think when something happens as big as COVID was, you go into that mode and you're like, I'll do whatever it takes. And my life starts moving forward and I figure out all these things. And then, like, as time goes on and normalcy sets back in, then you have to go back and ask yourself, am I still doing the things that I thought I needed to do in order to survive in a pandemic? And in California, we're very much still, dealing with some of the repercussions of that. And we're also low inventory, like much of the country is, right?
Mhm.
So, step one, on how to dominate your market and serve your community would be number one, protect your mindset. Fear is the enemy. Okay, so focus on gratitude. I love that you guys do this call that people can participate in. Focus on the good going on in the world. Limit negative people or those who get you down. So, again, just another like check. Did I do that initially? And then have I let some of that stuff creep back in? Where am I at with my mindset? How are you feeding your mindset? Because there's a lot of challenges in this market. And it's like, you're either competing with 20 offers to try to get your buyers a deal, or you're trying to get your seller to be realistic, or you haven't found a listing in a little while and you're like, I need to find a listing. So protect your mindset. Don't let all of that stuff creep in. Number two, take care of your mental and physical health. Okay. So get outside, make sure you're exercising, whatever that might look like for you. Take breaks from the computer. My goodness, right? Like, look at us now. This is like the upside to COVID, is that we learned how to create a community through the computer. And it also then, not only are we doing our work on there, we're connecting on there, we're doing all the things, right? So figure out how to just take some breaks. Eat right. Okay, so I've spent the last few years on a major health journey, just trying to find myself at peak performance, because when you are leading yourself or you're leading others, you have to feel good. So, what are you nourishing your body with? Number three, whether you're an individual agent or whether you have a small team or a large team, every team member is now an ISA or a lead appointment generator. So ask yourself, probably initially you got really hot to trot about, okay, I got to get on the phone. I got to stay in touch with my people. I got to do all of this. I got to lead generate. I got to find more leads, because I don't want to wake up 12 months from now not having a business, right? Okay, well, let's check your thermometer on that now. Every day you should wake up. This is nothing new that you haven't heard, but you need to be on the phone. You need to be talking to your database. We call it your data bank. And you need to make sure that if you have anyone on your team, that you are teaching them how to generate business. Okay. The goal is, even if you have an executive assistant, that they should be bringing in enough business every year to pay their salary. And usually I taught mine that they should be doubling or tripling the value of their salary. So our executive assistant on our team has the goal of bringing in enough business to cover plus her salary. So that's how you should be teaching the people, if you bring them into your world, that they're not there just to service the clients, they're there to bring in business. Everybody has to be converting deals. Every team member should be contacting and reaching out to their sphere of influence. You work with a transaction coordinator, they should be reaching out to their sphere. It doesn't matter who it is, your marketer. Everyone, I mean, basically, say it over and over again. So also, no one says that's not my job. Okay, so right now we don't have the luxury of saying, oh, we're not going to do this or we're not going to do that. Or if you have someone on your team, it's not going to be, oh, we don't do that or oh, we don't do this. Like right now, we do everything. We've got to just step up our game. And even though we're 12 months into this pandemic, like I think that we're still very much in the heat of reinventing our businesses, right? So we've got to do all the things so that then we know when we're stabilized again and at a really high level, then what we can take away and what we can do differently. Data bank and community should be your focus. Seminars for your clients. Okay, clients are how we're going to get through this. The data bank is how you're going to get through this. Calls to reach out and ask, how are you? Be a voice in your community to other small businesses, to buyers and sellers. Be vocal on community pages. Share hope. Right? So are you showing up as a person who provides hope? Are you showing up as an expert? Are you showing up someone who gives information, someone that you are an advocate for your people? Are you showing up as an advocate for your community? Are you showing up as someone that people want to reach out to? You know, my husband's been selling real estate for about 22 years. He's literally the best realtor I've ever met in my entire life. And he'll take your referrals in Boise if you have anybody moving there, because lots of Californians move to Boise. But one time, I mean, several times in the car, I would hear somebody call him and say, and he'd be answering questions about maybe an accountant or you know, a 1031 question or a cleaning service or a handyman or something. And I was like, oh, I asked him, I said, Van, don't those questions just drive you nuts? And he said, absolutely not. I get 100% joy in them, because if a client from my data bank is reaching out to me, that means I'm top of mind and I'm willing to service those needs no matter what it is, because then, you know, hopefully they'll be thinking about me when they want to buy or sell a house. So, you know, are you showing up as the leader for your data bank? Are you showing up for your sphere of influence as a thought leader, as, again, somebody who's bringing forward information and hope? Get brutal about expenses, both as your real estate company and as a person. So if you don't have your just basics, if you don't have your business accounts separated from your personal accounts, please get immediately off of Zoom and do that. You've got to have your business expenses separate so you can really know how much it takes you to run your business, and you really need to know how much it takes to run your life. Okay, you should know those numbers off, you know, like the back of your hand. So then you're able to pull up your credit card statement, pull up your bank statement, and one by one, you should be going through those and you should be marking them as follows. Mark it down. N, need for survival. Okay, so what are the things you need for survival? W, want or lifestyle. Okay, we all have those things that we want for our lifestyle. And then U for unnecessary, right? So what have you got on your bank statement or your credit card statement? Again, this is a great time to go back, because I bet we did a lot of this initially. And then as we've gotten more comfortable and our life's gotten back to normalcy, we're going, maybe we've let some of that stuff creep back in. So review that again, go back and say, have I let unnecessary things creep in? How, you know, what does that look like right now? Set a commitment on how much you're going to cut. Go, okay, when the pandemic happened, I cut 10% out of my budget. Now I want to go back and cut another 10%. Make sure that you have a savings account. I know all of this stuff sounds basic, but you should have at least 3 months reserves, at least 3 months of reserves for your business, how much it takes to run your business. And you should have at least 3 months reserves for your personal life. So no matter what happens, again, what if things shut down again? Or, what if something happens in your family? It doesn't really matter what it is. You've got to have those reserves. Number 7, be prepared to win and convert every appointment. Are you practicing your scripts? Are you doing your objection practice? Make sure that initially you probably started out in your career closing more, and then now you've backed off a little bit. So make sure, am I closing enough times? Am I asking for the business? And just remember, a no means not now because you didn't address their answers or their concerns. Remember, usually if people have an objection, that's a great sign. That means they're interested in working with you. They just need to know more. So be prepared to win and convert those deals every time. The other thing I would say is, do you know all the value propositions of Keller Williams? Because if you are aligned with Keller Williams as a company, there are things that KW brings to the table that will differentiate you and set you apart from the competitors. Okay, I don't know if anyone's had the opportunity to even look at Keller Mortgage. They have a loan limit up to $3 million. Your clients save the loan costs. They also get a credit at closing. I know on $1 million purchase, that could be a $17,000 savings to your clients. Not saying you have to use them, but it's an option, right? These are some of the differentiators that are that you have at your fingertips, being aligned with such a powerful company that has gone and negotiated this stuff for you. Number 8, training, and more training. Scripts and objections, like we talked about. Teaching and rereading shift. Are you teaching something? Because this is a great opportunity for you to get better at something, is to teach somebody else something. You could start a shift book club. Again, just kind of revisiting things. You might have done all of this stuff initially a year ago when we hit the panic button. Okay, now, where are you at on your training? What do you need to revisit? What do you need to sharpen your skills on? Number 9, virtual seminars for buyers, sellers, investors, and those that want to move up or down. So what does your outreach look like? This is an opportunity. Now people are used to Zoom. They're used to getting their information from Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all the things, right? So make sure that you're going live on Facebook. Make sure that you're, again, being a thought leader for your sphere of influence so that you are bringing forward information. So schedule that stuff out. And depending on what you feel comfortable with, I think even you could start doing some of those classes again in person for your sphere of influence. If you want to run an investor seminar, just based on your comfortability and your client's comfortability. And then number 10, lean in and over communicate. So who in your office are you plugged into? Who are you in relationship with? Are you plugged into the training calendar? Over communicate with the people in your office, over communicate with the people on your team, over communicate with your sphere of influence. There's just never enough. So lean in, because I think one of the things I've always said, I've been doing this again for 16 years, is that real estate can be very lonely. Even though you're working with clients or you're calling people on your phone or you're talking to your sphere of influence, it can actually be very lonely. So you have to make sure to lean into those relationships. You have to make sure that you're plugging into something that's refueling you. And then also think about the joy that you get on giving that back at some level, right? Make sure that you're reaching out to the agents in your office and asking how you can help and support them, because there could be somebody who's really lonely. So make sure to lean into each other, lean into stuff like this. It's fabulous that you have this for people to plug into. So really quickly, number 1, protect your mindset. 2, take care of your mental and physical health. 3, every team member is now an ISA or a lead appointment generator. So again, review your lead generation plan. Number 4, no one says that's not my job. Number 5, data bank and community is the focus. Number 6, get brutal about your expenses. Number 7, be prepared to win and convert on every appointment. Number 8, training, and more training. Number 9, virtual seminars for buyers, sellers, investors. And number 10, lean into your team, over communicate. Awesome.
10 points.
Okay.
I loved it. Thank you for the recap too.
Yes, you're welcome.
Stacie, just by following you and watching your videos and seeing some of the stuff that you put into the universe, I love how well-rounded about coaching, and that you remind us that it's about health, it's about our finances, it's about our business, it's about our family, because we get so wrapped up. And especially now we're seeing these changes happening in the industry with open houses back and people feeling more
Yep.
comfortable to integrate into society. We have to make sure we still keep in mind to look at all of those aspects that maybe, again, like we focused on, hyper vigilantly when COVID started, and now, it's getting a bit more relaxed. I do have to say.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you for those
Well,
reminders.
and I think what's going to happen too, I'm a great example of that. Like, super healthy, work out 5-6 days a week, eat, I mean, 90% of the time I eat extremely healthy. I take vitamins, I take all the things. I've led an extremely careful lifestyle during COVID. Now, just as more people aren't wearing their masks, like I got a cold and I was like, what is this? Like, not COVID, nothing. I got a cold and I was like, you know what? As people are unmasking, like we've been isolated from the interaction with people to some degree for so long that you're going to start seeing people get sick. My personal assistant, I haven't seen her in a week and a half, but she got strep. And she's vaccinated. Like, I mean, so just remember, like, people are going to start feeling a different level of stress, even with the open up. It's going to be different, right? They could get a cold. They could, their kids could get sick again. Like, people are going back to school. I mean, all of that, right? So you have to remember there could be another cycle of stress, and you need to be there again, providing hope.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Before we open it up from questions, I want to ask one of my most important favorite things, because I love to feed my body with books and podcasts and things like that. And I know you're very similar. So what are some of the things that you're listening to or reading now that you recommend for everyone to kind of look into?
Well, most of the time I have switched over to Audible. I really like, highlighting things and really digesting things. And then I realized I could actually consume more if I was just listening more, in the car and such. I also try to make a concerted effort to listen to like at least something that's fun, because I'm a very serious person and I like I like to learn all the time. So I'll tell you, I laughed pretty hard at I Can't Make This Up with Kevin Hart. Okay, and it's better to listen to because he's the one who narrates it, and you couldn't believe his life. I mean, he has crazy dad. I mean, like, the whole situation is funny. So that's something fun I listened to. Also, one of the ones I loved listening to for fun was Shonda Rhimes' Year of the Yes, or Year of Yes.
That's a great one.
It's a great one. She writes Grey's Anatomy, How to Get Away with a Murder, a lot of great TV shows, and she also narrates her book. So I would listen to that one, and it kind of talks about how to live a little bit of a balanced life. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
So then for work right now, I'm revisiting and listening to The Automatic Millionaire. Okay, so again, I like to visit a lot of things that talk about money. So The Automatic Millionaire, I'm listening to, I just finished the 12-week year. So
Yes.
just revisiting, how to slice up your year in better chunks so that you're not feeling really overwhelmed by your goals. And then also right now I'm listening to Hook Point by Brendan Kane. He's been on as a special guest in the Gary Keller Mastermind a couple times, and he speaks on social media. So just trying to brush up and learn a little bit more how to be effective, especially since, everything is so online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. Thank you, Stacie. I think
You're
I have
welcome.
my next book. Okay. So I have more stuff to ask, but I want to open it up to you guys. Do you guys have any questions, comments? I know we have leadership and agents on here as well. Stacie is a wealth of knowledge. So I'd like to open it up to you. You can go ahead and unmute yourself or type it in the chat and I'll read it. No?
Who has something? You're welcome, Ronnie.
Come on. Oh, Robin Dutch. Yeah.
Hi, Stacie. Nice to meet you.
Hi. Yeah, you too.
I think it's very important that on that list is still provide hope and who is lonely. because everybody on social media last year was like, how are you doing? And can I help? And that has almost completely disappeared,
Mhm.
which is kind of concerning to me because there's still a lot of people that are not feeling that hot about the whole situation. So thanks for pointing that out. That was a good reminder.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, that was great. I think we need to get back to that Servian heart a little bit.
Yeah, again, I think it's just life, right? Like you always go back to what's easiest. You always go back to what feels normal. And so it takes a little bit of effort to make that stuff your new normal, and it's easy to revert back, and then you have to go through the list and say, where am I at? Rate myself. What else do I need to integrate?
Mhm. I love that. Okay, well, while you guys are thinking of questions, I'm going to throw another one out there. Oh, Minnie, you got one?
Hey, Stacie.
Hi.
Um, what are the top? If you copy the Boise market, right? It's a massive office that you run over there, and we know that real estate is real estate. Psychology is psychology. Behavior is behavior. It doesn't matter where you sell; it's going to be the same thing. Maybe what will differentiate is the weather and the price point.
Yeah.
So, what really differentiate those that did really well or excelled last year, the last 12 months, compared to the others in the Boise area that you think people here can implement the same way?
Yeah, fantastic question. I saw most of my producers, their businesses grew. And the people who were new and weren't willing to call their sphere of influence, weren't willing to learn the education, weren't willing to, um, create their listing presentation, buyer presentation, we're already seeing those people fail out of the business. So I think number one, the agents that got back to the basics, did these things and put a plan in place. So if you don't have a plan, it's okay, put a plan in place. Also, I had agents get really creative. Call nights with prizes, offerings to their sphere of influence, things that they had never done for people before. So again, just revisiting, going, what has changed? Ask your sellers and your buyers, ask the people in your sphere of influence, what could I do for you that we've never done before? Let the ideas come from them. We also had a lot of agents step into kind of an iBuyer type status, where they would say, hey, like if you've got to move quickly or you have to do these things, they put together deals for them. So are you also thinking as an investor? When Van, my husband, goes on any listing appointment, like almost every time I come home and I'm like, is it something we should buy? Because you should have that investor hat on. So I had a lot of my agents move forward in their investment profile in the last year too. Picking up properties. Also, something else, digging in and saying, is there a builder that I could work with? Okay, because new construction or infill or, what are the projects that I could get involved in? Like, I had agents go get different types of business that they've never gotten before. So again, it's just kind of back to the drawing board. What are your spokes of your business? You should have a minimum of 3 on where you get your business from. What was the return on those spokes last year? And then do I need to go get new ones? So just a few ideas there, Minnie.
Thank you. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was great. So I'll throw out my last thing. Stacie, one of your strengths that I've noticed is you have a really heavy social media presence and you tell your story so well, not only as a leader, but also as a business owner. Do you have any tips for all of our agents on here of how to narrate that story online through social media presence, lead generation?
I just try to listen, and I feel like I'm like a beginner. So thank you for saying that. I don't feel like I'm very great at it yet. I'm working on it. I took all the classes from fellow Californian Rachel Adams Lee. She's in Northern California, so a Keller Williams agent. I've just taken all of her social media classes at all the events. She often hosts those online. Look her up on Facebook. She's someone amazing to follow. And here's what I pulled from that. I am better at things when I'm consistent and I know what the cadence is going to be. So it may look sporadic to the outside world, or it may not look as planned, but it's pretty planned out. My Instagram is more of my personal side of my life, a little bit of inspiration. And I post on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. And Wednesdays is usually either like a TikTok video or a reel or something for learning. And then Mondays and Fridays is just a post. And then when I'm not traveling, I try to do 10 stories a day. So I ebb and flow with that. So if you can stick to doing 10 stories a day, whether that's Instagram, Facebook, or both. I do my story on Instagram, but I filter it through to Facebook. And then on Facebook, I actually feel like I've let that go a little bit. I'm getting re-energized and getting refocused, but I plan something inspirational to post on Sunday evenings. And then I try to kind of have a schedule. If you look at my office, everything is planned out. Mondays, we post agent increases, business increases. Tuesday, we do this. Wednesday, we do this. Thursday, we do this. So I would say if you want to be more consistent, I would just put a plan in place, because it's not going to happen, coincidentally.
That was awesome. Okay, everyone, it's 8:32. Any last
All right.
comments or questions for Stacie before she's got to run? No?
Yeah, please come follow me on Instagram too. It's Stacie States. And I think on Facebook, I'm Stacie Cudmore States, Cudmore. So please come follow me too. I'd love to have you as a friend. And I look forward to getting to know more of you as I am here for the foreseeable future.
Awesome. Thank you, Stacie, so much. Thank you, everybody. Use all these things that you learned today. Go out, have a good weekend. Let's generate some business. Reach out to your leadership. We're here to help support you. Okay. Have a good Friday. See you guys all.
You guys.
Thank
Bye.
you, Stacie.
Thank you.
Thank you.